So we had so much to talk about this week about Flint and about DPS that we decided to take our presidential 2016 race conversation online here. So thanks for joining us at MiWeek.org. So Nolan, what do you think of the whole Trump? I'm not debating. He's so far ahead in the polls. I mean, we're going to start with Republicans before we start cracking on the Democrats.
I think that he won't be in tonight's debate, and his poll numbers will go up 3% tomorrow. I mean, it's really a brilliant piece of politics if you look at it. He's turned this debate tonight, the whole thing, into an undercard by not being there and by being so publicly not there. He's going to hold an event where he'll draw tens of thousands to honor veterans. I mean, this is a guy who denigrated John McCain and said, I don't like people who get captured. Now he's out here, you know, the veterans are eaten out of his hands. It's amazing. You know, he's like a political Midas. Everything he does goes gold.
Or could you say, Stephen, that, finally the Republicans, some of these Republicans have a chance to say maybe something besides a zinger at Trump or trying to dodge a Trump zinger at a debate. They'll have actually more time to get their position out.
That's an interesting way to see it. I mean, I suppose we'll see more of them because he won't be there than we have before. I'm not sure how many people will be watching, though. I mean,
kind of tired. I'm kind of tired of the debates.
This is the ninth debate, is that right?
And without Trump, those numbers are going to be the worst they've seen.
Yeah, they might.
So
although we're getting close to the voting, and so people in Iowa may be paying attention to this debate more closely than everybody else. I still am just mystified by the whole thing. I mean, as Nolan said, it doesn't matter what he says. It doesn't matter what he does. The people who are for him will indulge any level of intellectual dishonesty or just sort of self-kidding to say, well, this is our guy. And so at what point does that fall off and sort of reason takes hold for how you win?
But I think everyone has been saying, well, a single vote hasn't been cast yet. And so you can look at all the polls in the world, but until people actually start voting, I mean, now we're getting to this point,
well, it's
Nolan,
always true, but I suspect that, you know, a lot of people say, well, Trump's numbers may not be as strong as they indicate because those people may not actually come out and vote.
Well, we'll see it starting next week.
And that's true, but they may actually be stronger than they indicate because a lot of people are, you know, now don't want to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. They're kind of whispering, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. And I think there's a lot of people going to vote for Trump who aren't telling pollsters the truth there.
You look at the numbers. I mean, and you always with elections, you got to consider historically what has happened in the past. If you look at where his numbers are right now, he's at least as strong as John Kerry was going into the balloting in 2004, as George W. Bush was, or Al Gore in 2000. The national numbers for him suggest that he could get the nomination, and there will have to be some parting with history in order for him to
that's
lose.
what I was going to say. I mean, because you just said, historically speaking, if you look back, and I think what his candidacy has shown is that all of a sudden he's just turned everything on its ear.
There's no way to predict. I mean, we've all you know, we started in the spring saying, flame out by summer and then by fall. I never thought I'd hear myself say this, but I believe he's going to be the nominee.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Write it down.
Could be.
Hang on. What's the date today?
I don't think he'll be the president, but I think he will be the nominee.
I think if you look at his appeal to independents, and if you look even to his appeal to Democrats, he'll draw more Democratic votes than any Republican president has since Reagan.
So who benefits tonight? I mean, he's not at the debate tonight. Who's the second runner-up?
I think tonight's debate became just again an undercard event. I don't think.
I don't know. I think if you're Bush or Rubio, this is your chance to distinguish yourself from Cruz, who's the other. I mean, he's second in the polls, and that's your first target, right? If you're Bush and Rubio, you got to get past him. You've got to start making yourself look like the alternative to Trump that the party can get behind, and I don't think they've made that case.
If you watch these last few debates, Trump has played a lesser and lesser role in each of them. He's been quieter and quieter and quieter because he understands he does not have to engage these folks. I don't think there's anything these people can do that are going to knock him off that perch or elevate themselves.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Democrats. And Hillary Clinton's sweating it out a little bit. Bernie Sanders is on top of, in the polls in a couple of places here. What's happening with the Clinton campaign that seemed to be such a sure thing from the beginning?
Well, I mean,
for Democrats?
she has the same problems now that she had in 2008. She doesn't connect that well with voters. She's got things sort of hanging over her shoulder from the past that people are suspicious of or don't like. And within the party, she has a hard time appealing to the hard left that's so disenchanted with income inequality and with Wall Street. And so she's having a hard time. At the same time, Nate Silver at 538, who has correctly predicted just about everything in electoral politics the last 3 or 4 cycles, talked about how the hysteria over Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders, him catching up, is actually badly overblown. That if you look at the national numbers, she's still 20 points ahead of him. We're talking now about early states, Iowa, New Hampshire, very unrepresentative of, particularly on the Democratic side, voters who are part of the base. And so we may see some early struggles from her in those 2 states. Barack Obama struggled early in those 2 states too, and ended up winning the nomination, because when you get to the bigger states with more Democrats in them, they tend to sort of bring
What do
it
you
all in
think,
line.
Nolan?
Well, I think she's got. If you look at what folks are saying about Trump, gosh, he says what he thinks. He's real. He is what he is. There's nothing. I mean, I watched her on the town hall the other night. There's nothing that feels real about her. I mean, this phony perkiness that she was exhibiting the other night, I half expected her to break into a chorus of "I'm a Little Teapot" up there on the stage. The way she was, preening and grinning. Nothing feels real about her. And people are warming to Trump because, there he is. There's not a, I mean, he's as messy as it is, he's exactly that. And I think this Bernie Sanders has sort of that same appeal. He's this, cranky old guy. He doesn't pretend to be anything. He said the other night the most honest thing I ever heard a politician say.
What?
He said, "I will raise your taxes. Not just that guy behind the tree.
Right, I'll
I'm
raise
going to raise your
everybody's, right.
taxes." I'm like, whoa. And, sort of that realness, that honesty when you're running against a candidate who, is one thing here and one thing there, and you don't know really where she stands. I think that's got a great appeal to voters. And if Sanders wins Iowa and New Hampshire, he picks up a little momentum. I don't think he beats her.
It keeps
but
him going,
I think
though.
he weakens her, and it does sort of
Super
reveal
Tuesday
sort of
is,
the weakness
Collect
of
some
this
money.
candidate.
Super Tuesday
Yeah.
is I think the pivotal
Both
event in the Democratic race. I'm not so sure about the Republican race, but when you get to those big states with large African American populations, big Democratic centers, it's going to be hard for Sanders, I think, to maintain
through
that.
there.
He is not connecting with those voters, those sort of mainline traditional Democrats, the way that, and again, she's a Clinton. I mean, there is still, you wait till they roll Bill out really onto this campaign. So the response he still gets from Democrats is
Older
really
Democrats.
amazing. Younger too. I mean, people love this guy in a way that is going to be really difficult for Sanders to overcome.
And while he comes with baggage, the Republicans don't have that Bill Clinton to be able to roll out that can energize people.
He comes with, in this campaign, I think his negatives are almost as high as his positives. I don't think
Republicans
he's a
have
decider.
never, ever, ever beaten Bill Clinton. Not at
There you
anything.
go.
And she's not Bill, and that's one of her problems.
we'll
and
see how much she's
I think
Bill.
the contrast, she suffers by the contrast as much as she gains from having him there.
All right, guys. So we'll watch the debate, and we'll watch the returns come in on Monday. Should be a good one. All right, that's my week after the show. See you later.